Chairman Franchuk, no, there's no change to the order. The one thing I did want to note is that we have, today we have the city planner for the city of Dickinson, Natalie Burchak here, and she just wanted to come up and introduce herself to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Step to the podium and just introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Natalie Burchak, City Planner with the City of Dickinson. Yeah, I just graduated from The Ohio State University this past spring, and I'm just looking forward to getting to work with you guys. I think 3 months now I've been with the city, so yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next, we have the minutes from our last meeting is, I guess I need a approval for the agenda first of all. All, need a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, state aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. And the minutes from our last meeting, is there any corrections or changes to that?
Just to note, Commissioners, there were some minutes that went out, and then there were some revised minutes that went out, and what you have in front of you should be the revised minutes.
I don't think we got any minutes, do we?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
see them, Steve.
Did you? Commissioners, can we move the approval of the minutes
Okay,
down after the public hearings?
we can do that.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. First on our agenda is a public hearing for RZ 0524 from Maureen Smith is requesting rezoning from ag to agriculture residential for property located in the northeast quarter west of right-of-way in section 5, township 138, range 94, containing approximately 22.49 acres. Is anybody here representing Ms. Smith? No?
Chairman Franchuk, Commissioners, Steve Josephson, County Planner. I spoke to Ms. Smith this morning. She was unable to attend. All I can tell you is that this piece of property has been in there. She and her husband had owned it. Her husband passed recently. She wants to put this piece of property on the market, and that's, because it's zoned agriculture, and because it's less than 40 acres. That's why she's requesting the rezoning.
Okay. There's a plan to build a house and shop on it, correct? Or not?
It will depend upon whomever buys the property. She's just interested in putting it up for sale, and I think she's gonna move from here.
It is the current residence, correct?
No, actually, her current residence,
Not that bad.
she's moving on.
Okay.
Go a little bit north. That kind of rectangular property, that's where her current residence is. Probably not on the record. This is the subject property.
Okay.
Just to clarify what I said, I went up there and pointed out where her current residence is. My understanding is that she's leaving North Dakota, she's moving to Montana, she's in the process of doing that. But anyway, this is not where her, it's kind of that slender piece that's outlined in red. And, if somebody purchased it and wanted to, she wants to rezone it to make it easier to put it on the market, so that whoever buys it won't have to go through the rezoning process.
Question, does that little slip of land have access to the street?
Eliza Rhodes, that would be my concern, coming down through them hills, where is it going to access to Enchanted Highway? Because if it's far down, we got the river right there, Antelope Creek, and that would be the biggest question, how is it going to access to Enchanted Highway?
And you know, Commissioner Larson, I think that that's one of those things that whoever purchases it, they're going to have to work that out during the development phase. All they're asking for is an entitlement right now.
Understood.
Mr. Chairman, I guess my question is, why don't you let the other party that actually purchased come in here with a specific plan on what they plan to develop there, rather than just give a blank check here and then let them build whatever?
No, okay, the only reason they're asking for this is because it's zoned agriculture, and it's under 40 acres, so they're just trying to make the property conform, rezone it to a zoning district. You know, but all the time we have people who buy land or have land and it's vacant, and they don't necessarily have a plan for developing it. It's not part of the zoning process.
But she could sell it with a pending approval from the planning and zoning on the new, the person that would be buying it, and then they could come in with a more specific plan, couldn't they?
But okay, Commissioner Richard, the idea is this: you can rezone a piece of property and not necessarily have any plans for it. She could rezone the property now, sell it to somebody. They can do agricultural stuff on there. That's a permitted use. So they're not necessarily required to build a house there. The rezoning is not contingent upon how the person is going to develop it, but the rezoning, by making it the zoning district conforming, that would allow somebody, if they wanted to build a house there, to do that.
Mr. Joseph, does she own the adjacent property around this tract?
I believe that she does. I believe she does. She and her deceased husband own a lot of property in that area. I couldn't tell you right now which ones they are, but you know, I remember looking at on GIS, and they own a lot of property in that area.
Okay, any other questions? Not that I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there any comment from the public for or against this request? Any comment from the public for or against this request for rezoning?
You know, Mr. Chairman, my biggest concern is I know that property pretty well down that way. It could be tough to get an approach off depending on where it lands. If it's on the east side, I know they will land on the east side of Enchanted Highway and on the west side. And that's a pretty big field coming down through there, so.
It's that sliver that where it curves around there is that they're looking to rezone. So they could they go access on the section lines or?
Without exactly seeing where it is, I mean, like I said, it could be tough to get an approach in there.
They'll have to come to you for.
Yeah, like I said, you can approve it, but I guess if you can't get approach to it, that's another problem.
And that road is managed by Stark County.
Yes, Enchanted Highway is. It's a paved road that comes down through there. And the further south you get out, because their approach is pretty close to the Antelope, so it's, depending on where it is from there, it must be south of the Antelope Creek. So that would be my only concern, if it's feasible to even put a approach in there. I know there is some approaches on the west side, but exactly where it falls in there. Thank you.
Okay. Any comment from the public for or against his request? Hearing no others, I'll close the public hearing then. I'll look for a motion. I guess a recommendation from Mr. Joseph first.
Right, thank you, Chairman Franchuk, Commissioner Steve Josephson, County Planner. As I said, this is a request to make this property conform with it doesn't conform to the current zoning district because it's a little over 22 acres. They want to take care of that now, you know, and change the zoning to agricultural residential, which is a minimum of 10 acres. Understand the concerns about the approach. If they were coming in and asking for a rezone and a subdivision plat with this, the subdivision plat is the time when something like that would come up. If they were planning to split this into two separate properties, then there would be some concerns as to where they put where they would put the approach. But for right now, this is just an entitlement. It's just taking a piece of property that doesn't legally conform with the current zoning district and making it and rezoning it to something that it would legally conform to.
Any questions for Mr. Joseph?
Steve, I have a question. Now, that strip of land lies within that northeast quarter, right? Mm-hmm. And do they own the whole northeast quarter? The lady, does she?
I'm not certain about that. Again, I don't have that in front of me. I just know they own a lot of land in that area.
But my question is, why is she taking it out of there right now when it can be sold as the northeast quarter as one tract?
Somebody already did that. Somebody already recorded that as a separate parcel.
Oh,
I
it
don't know
has
when
been a
that,
record
it is actually a separate parcel,
and has been for a while?
and it has been for a while.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not, then I'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve staff recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. We do a roll call vote. Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Oderman,
Aye.
Commissioner Vrelick,
Aye.
Commissioner Richards,
No.
Commissioner Claris,
Aye.
Commissioner Larson,
Aye.
Commissioner Lemay. Chair votes aye, motion carried. Next, we'll go to public hearing for CUP 01-24 for Dunn County, North Dakota is requesting a conditional use permit for a gravel pit with crushing and stockpiling on a property located in the west one half of section 34, township 139, range 91, containing approximately 160 acres. It's an actual mine site, will be on approximately 19 acres. And I see you're from representing Dunn County, you just want to state what your plans are then. And state your name first of all.
Good afternoon. I'm Terry Schwarzenberger. I'm the Assistant Road Superintendent with Dunn County.
Okay, and you're looking at a gravel pit to purchase gravel from a landowner there, right?
Yep, we're looking to purchase gravel from Clinton Ray and Reedy.
Okay, anybody have any questions, Mr. Schwarzenberg?
I guess we've been working with Al and the weed officer, Travis Jepson, and so.
Okay. No questions then, I'm gonna open up the public hearing then. Anybody have any comment on this request for a conditional use permit for a gravel pit? Anybody have a comment for the public on this conditional use permit for a gravel pit? Any comment from the public on this request? Hearing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing then. Mr. Joseph, do you have recommendations on it?
Chairman Franchuk, Commissioner Steve Josephson, County Planner. You have in front of you, it's a request for a gravel pit on the, by Dunn County, and they will be using what they mine out there for their, for their road operations. And as Mr. Schwarzenberger said, Dunn County staff has been working with staff from the county road department and the weed department. You'll notice there's a letter in your package about how the weed department did not find any noxious and invasive weeds on that site. I think I could speak for the road superintendent in saying that they looked at the haul route and did not have any objections to that. I did you had some conditions, I just added one in there about the size of their buffer zone area. That was in their application, and that's what you have in front of you. Seeing how the county could could ask for a reclamation bond, but seeing how this is an adjacent local government, staff doesn't recommend any reclamation bond for this. Staff does recommend approval subject to the conditions and the findings in our staff report, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, how many miles is it from that pit into Dunn County?
I think it's roughly about 16.
16 miles? Okay. And I suppose, Al, you looked at the road route. Maybe you could answer that better.
Yes, we did, and we agreed that they're going to come up on the Antelope interchange and get on I-94, run over to Richardson, and go up on number 8. So we'll have very little impact. And Terry and I kind of visited about there's maybe one landowner that'll probably be impacted a little bit of dust, but I think that can be, taken care of, so I don't see any issues.
Okay, any other questions? If there's no other questions, then I'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the request.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, then Commissioner Richards, Commissioner Larson,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Lemay, Commissioner Claris, Commissioner Freilich,
Aye.
Commissioner Oderman,
Aye.
and chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, oh, I'm sorry.
I said I was just gonna say that this will go before the county commission on next week, Thursday, on the 7th of November, so that'll for final approval of the commission.
Okay, at this point, can we have a short recess so that you can be provided the minutes and then we can take
Okay.
care of that? All right, thank you.
September 26, 2024, minutes from that meeting. I have a motion then to approve them. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, state aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Is there anything else, Mr. Joseph?
The only item I have is I'm gonna start working on the schedule for next year.
Okay,
And that'll be available, I'll have that available before the November meeting for your consideration.
okay. Then our next meeting will be November 26th, then
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Steve, have you started working on the ordinance? Or,
I have started working on it, but I've also, with some of the stuff that's come through, it's taken me off of that, but yeah.
looking for an update?
Yeah, there's not really an update, so it'll be after the first of the year, I'll be able to update, I hope, so.
Okay,
Just to let you know, Sue, I am Commissioner Larson, I'm looking at some things that are in Williams County's zoning ordinance that I think addresses some of the practices that we do at Stark County that aren't codified, I think it's good for some of those to actually get them on the record, so people have direction, especially when it comes to things like agricultural land and splitting it off for, family members and so on. And I was surprised to see in there that they actually address that issue, because we don't have anything on the books here in Stark County. We just have, this is how we do things. It's better to codify it, so. But that's just one example.
okay, if there's nothing else, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, state aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.